Well, we've got nutritionalist Charlotte Stirling-Reed on with us. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Toby. Thank you so much for having me on.
Great. Now, you're backing this new campaign to bring awareness to introducing babies to solid food. And there's so much conflicting advice out there, isn't there, really? So, what's your advice?
Oh gosh, it can be such a confusing time. Honestly, I think parents are quite baffled by it, and I think the whole point in the Better Health Start for Life campaign is really to, first of all, offer parents support and advice, allow them, give them some of the information, so remind them when they should start offering their solid foods, and then to offer some like really healthy inspiration. So there's a weaning hub that they can go to get all the information that they want around this area. But in terms of the advice, I mean, I think that parents often, as you already pointed out, I think the survey that we did found that 64% received conflicting advice about what age to introduce solid foods. And about 60% of first-time parents found the decision to start weaning really confusing. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is give parents confidence. We're trying to help show them what foods to offer, when to start, and all of that information is readily available now for them on the Start for Life Weaning Hub.
Yeah. So when should parents start giving their child solid food? I guess, does it depend on each and every child?
Well, do you know what? Exactly that. We normally recommend that children are more likely to be developmentally ready for solid foods and be able to cope with them properly at around 6 months of age. So around 6 months of age is what we tend to recommend. However, there are some 3 really clear signs to look out for. And when these signs appear together at around 6 months, then we know that baby's ready. And what those signs are is, number 1, stay in a sitting position and be able to hold their head steady. Yeah. Number 2, coordinate eyes, hands and mouth. So they look at food, pick it up and put it in their mouth. And number 3, swallow food rather than push it back out. So when we start to see these signs, we know, okay, my baby is starting to become ready for solid foods. And that's really what we need to be looking out for.
Yeah. And what kind of solid foods should you be introducing them to? Should you sort of start off light and then build it up?
So, yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea to start, with, 1 meal a day, and to start with, for example, single taste of fruit or vegetables, for example. It's a great idea to do that because we do want to try and introduce babies to solid foods gradually. It's quite a big change going from a milk-only diet to a solid food alongside milk diet. So it's a nice gradual introduction. And we normally say to start with single taste of veggies for the first week or so, and then start building in plenty of balance. And again, the Start for Life Weaning Hub has information in there, and it includes recipes for 6-month-old, for 6 months plus, for 7 to 9-month-old. So parents can really see the kinds and types of foods that you can offer your kids, and it can be a really good resource for that.
Yeah. Is there anything dangerous if you perhaps leave it too late to introduce solid food?
I think people often ask this, and I think the reason why we want to offer solid foods to baby when they are developmentally ready, so when they're showing those signs, is that actually weaning is quite an opportune time for us to start introducing new foods, for them to start experimenting with texture. And actually, we don't want to kind of miss that time when they are ready and wanting to try those foods. But also at the same time, we do want to start thinking about getting nutrients. So things like iron stores start to dip at around about 6 months of age, and we need to be making sure that they are replaced with solid foods. So nutritionally, developmentally, and also just in terms of building children's familiarity with eating, we want to work on those skills around the time when our babies are ready. So we don't want to delay it too long. So that's a really good question, though.
Yeah. And of course, the first 1001 days are critical. It would be so easy to round that down. Why is it so precise?
Well, it's basically taking into account conception. So from conception right up to a child's second birthday. And I think it's just basically trying to take that those ages and put those together just to show that these early years are such an important time in terms of developing food preferences, eating patterns, and laying down the foundations for children's long-term health. So I think that's why they focus on that, really.
Yeah. And in terms of, I suppose, when you are in the pre-weaning stage of just giving baby food, what kind of baby food should should you be getting? Are there better maybe brands than others?
Well, I mean, there's so much available, but I think what the Start for Life hub is trying to do is it's trying to encourage parents to be able to make that baby food at home. And these recipes are really simple. They're really easy to do. And what we want is for parents to, if parents make them at home, then babies are more likely to get used to their family cooking. They're more likely to know exactly what ingredients are going into those foods. So they can tell that there's, for example, no salt and sugar added. And you can be a bit more experimental with the kind of variety that you're offering at home and get them used to your family foods, which really is what we want to see happening. So, you know, I think there is loads available for parents, and it's always a good idea to have a look on back of packs. But the whole, you know, Start for Life Weaning Hub is trying to encourage parents to be making a lot of those foods really simply and easily at home.
Yeah. And this stage in life, introducing babies to food, can that be actually really important? Because, of course, 1 in 4 children are overweight now, so you have to start with a good relationship with food.
Oh, do you know, I love that you say that, because I think, you know, we always talk about the types of foods that are offered, but actually, yeah, having a really healthy relationship with food is so important. And something I always say to my families is, you know, we know that it's going to take children a lot of time to learn to talk and walk. And actually, it's the same with them learning how to eat a variety and a balance. And a lot of the way that can be done is by showing them, by role modeling. You know, they can have, if we're offering them nice, healthy foods, it's about role modeling. It's about not putting pressure on them to eat up those foods necessarily. And, you know, having that kind of bi-directional communication at mealtime, so they're allowed to have some say on what they will and won't eat as well. But it's about teaching them that healthy relationship with food right from the start, because that does really matter and can make a big difference. So you're absolutely right there.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to parents who maybe even after listening to this just now are still struggling about when to start their baby on solid foods and things?
I think, you know, those key 3 signs that I mentioned at around 6 months is a good time to think about. But if you are confused, if you are unsure, please just simply search Start for Life, and you can find all of the information available on the Weaning Hub there. So it talks about things like how to introduce allergens and what foods to avoid, and gives you recipes for each stage of your baby's weaning journey. But it also talks about when your baby is likely to be ready. So I'd say to any parent, check that out. It's NHS approved advice, and it's all evidence-based. So you know that you can't go wrong with the advice that's on there.
Great. Well, many thanks for coming on today. It's been great having you here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.